is.
YouTube just sent me a message. Monsters of Geek podcast is live.
What?
Live. Okay.
Says you.
All right, we'll go ahead and start it up.
You're cutting this stuff, right?
Oh yeah, we're cutting all this stuff.
We're not going to do a cold open this time, is what I'm taking from that.
Not this time. No. I better hurry up to the intro before Joe says something absurd.
You want me to give you a cold open? I can do it.
Sure.
I'll just tell you about the winds pool all over again. I mean, I really can if you want me to, or you want to do like an official one. Those are boring.
I'll just do.
It's up to you. You're the boss. You can make bad decisions if you want to.
Actually, let's cold open with this, okay?
Okay.
Did you guys see the New Mutants trailer?
Nope.
Okay.
I saw
Joe,
that. I saw that you sent us a text message that had a link in it. But
yeah, and you didn't watch it. Why didn't you watch it?
Why would I watch it? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Are you as hardcore about the X-Men films?
No, I don't know
Okay,
about X-Men. That's the actual.
That's why I see reason. It. Yeah. Joe, did you find out if that was a Fox movie?
No, I didn't even look.
I think it is. From what I understand with the Fox deal, they get first dibs on any mutant, apparently.
Aren't they all mutants?
No, not necessarily. Well, yeah, all the X-Men are. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about all superheroes there for a second. Yeah, 20th Century Fox. Joe's ready to break geekdom in half and tell everybody it's superheroes. All of them are mutants. Joe, did you watch it?
Yes.
What did you think about it?
It looks good.
No, it's different. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but it's different.
It's going to be like a scary mutant movie.
Yeah, it's like a mutant haunted house, which is really weird to say. When you think about it, it's really weird to think about. But
Did you? Speaking of trailers, did you watch the new Constantine trailer?
No, I didn't watch the Constantine trailer.
I sent it to you, so you fessed to Andrew.
Well, I know. I just did what Andrew. I know. I did to you. I know. I'm terrible. We're all terrible. Joe's the good one because he watched both trailers this week.
Hey.
Speaking of trailers, there's a new Star Wars trailer out there.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was the actual best trailer of the week.
That was pretty good.
It didn't give me enough.
What do you want? The whole movie?
No. Give me something to get excited about.
What did make you excited about that?
Everything.
Why?
Except for the one part where he says, I felt power like that before and I didn't figure it then. I figure it now. That's the only thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. But
so
really?
Is he talking about, and I guess spoiler alerts for a trailer since I'm normally the kind of person that doesn't watch trailers. Is he talking about Kylo or is he talking about himself?
Who?
Luke, when he says that.
Or is he talking about Rey?
Well, he's definitely talking to Rey in that moment, but who's he talking
probably
about I felt before?
It's probably Kylo, I would think.
Yoda?
No.
Wait, Joe, he didn't have to stop Yoda. Yoda died.
Yoda.
Jeez. I think he's talking about Boba Fett. That's what, because Boba Fett did climb his way out of the pit. I mean, that's a pretty powerful dude.
Vader.
No, it could be Vader or Joe. It has to be Kylo. It has to be referring back to the whole Jedi massacre thing.
Could be Luke.
So Luke's talking about himself?
He could be.
Well, possibly.
Why couldn't he be?
I would say he couldn't be. I don't think it is, though.
That said, he's definitely talking about Kylo, but it could be Luke.
No.
Luke didn't stop himself from doing what?
He doesn't say stop himself. He said, I didn't fear it before, but this time I do, or something like that.
So he fears himself? Is that what you're saying?
No, he fears Rey's power.
Sure.
But he did not fear his own power, would be the way that it would be Luke. I was young, stupid, and fearless of my own power. But now I see your power. I don't think it is, but since you guys are giving me flack, I got to stand up for myself.
I mean, it's an interesting theory. You've explained it well. I don't
believe it either. But I can explain theories without believing them.
Well, it's pretty much been confirmed by the director that The Last Jedi is Luke. Did you see it on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Luke's the last Jedi. What do you think about this whole Gray Jedi thing? Have you seen this? I know it's not official canon, but have you seen the Gray Jedi thing?
Mm-mm.
So it's an internet thing.
I guess the listeners can't see my head nod. No.
No. Joe, have you heard about the Gray Jedi?
No.
Okay, so apparently there's this internet thing that's a Gray Jedi, and those Jedis actually balance the Force, where they obviously not completely on the light side, but they're not completely on the dark side, and so they kind of walk the line between the good part and the bad part of the Force. It's interesting, and Disney has already said it's not canon. That doesn't mean that they can't all of a sudden be like, oh hey, look, it's in canon now. And there's an awful lot of grays in this poster. Like there's like an allusion to kind of like this. If Luke's I'm not saying this is a Gray Jedi, but like if Luke's the last Jedi, there's an awful lot of grays and kind of in between. As far as color wise, there's a lot of grays, a lot of reds. I don't know what the red is, but
I mean, it could
definitely
just
the grays.
By the guys making the DC movies.
Zack Snyder.
Zing!
We can't make fun of Zack Snyder too bad. His family had a tragedy and all, but
you can still make fun of the guy. You just don't make fun of the tragedy.
Make fun of the movies.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder is actually not a bad filmmaker. It's just that
Stop it.
He's not. He's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he can definitely make the movie that DC's asked him to do, which is make it really dark. He can definitely do that. He's achieved such things.
He's good at no lighting. Okay, there's an argument. Anyway, we need to get off of that.
Welcome to episode number 48 of the Monsters of Geek podcast. This is your editor-in-chief, Aaron. With us tonight is the man that's making his return. To use, I know you won't get the wrestling thing, but to use this, as Tony Schiavone would say, this is the biggest night in wrestling history. Because Andrew is back on the Monsters of Geek podcast. What's up, man?
Hey, this is me. I have 3 topics: Persona, Zelda, and of course, DC movies suck. So it's good to be back.
Oof. Already making an impact here on the Monsters of Geek.
Well,
Joe, Yeti, what are you up to, man?
Being a Yeti.
Being the Yeti. He must be coming up from parts unknown because all I see is the little blue Lego man there. There he is. There he is, coming from his lair deep in the planet Hoth.
Where all the magic happens.
Jared may be on a little bit later tonight. And of course, Daniel has had back surgery, so he won't be on tonight. So we wish him a speedy recovery. I actually texted with him a little bit today. He's seems to be doing pretty good actually. So he said he was going to try to be on tonight, but he can't set up as long as he thought he could, and so we're gonna move him to the DL for a little bit there.
IR designated to return.
Well, that's just that's a designated list, or not the designated, disabled list. So he'll be back, but not IR.
That's a baseball reference. Screw baseball.
Jeez.
Hey, good Lord. It's playoff.
Boy, Andrew's healing it up right now, man.
It's football season. IR designated to return.
Yeah, it's playoff baseball season.
So
it's what?
Playoff baseball season, which means the games take longer and they have more weight.
They mean something.
Actually, baseball playoffs are pretty exciting.
I did watch Game 7 of the World Series last year, so
yeah, I did too.
Credit where it's due, I guess.
Yeah. Dad and I have watched probably almost every late night baseball game.
Major League Baseball is
terrible.
Like they finally got the Yankees and Cubs in the playoffs, and they got 2 good teams.
And the Dodgers.
And they're going to lose.
Yeah, because you desperately, they either want the Dodgers and the Yankees or they want the Cubs and the Yankees. Imagine Cubs and Yankees World Series. Imagine rating that comes out of that. That's crazy.
Ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. Astros are good, man. Jose Altuve.
Houston's on sweet. Yankees tomorrow night.
Are they up 3-0 already?
I thought it was just 2-0.
No, they're 2-0 right now.
Yeah, it's game 7 series when it gets to this point.
No, only 7 is series.
No, it's NLCS. AFC Championship Series are 7s.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Only the divisional series is 3 games. So that's what the NBA playoffs should be in the first round. I'll go back to that 3-game format. But that's another discussion for another time.
NBA should just get rid of the East and West conferences, shorten the season, and do best 16 teams.
Hey, they've talked about the best 16 teams.
I've heard it's not happening though. Can't remember where I saw that. Well, it was Twitter, but I don't remember who I saw that from.
No.
As much sense as it would make, because it would actually make the playoffs good.
Yep.
Or better, rather.
Just get rid of conferences.
Good. I agree.
They should. Yep. It's easy. Easy fix to a long season where people get hurt.
And you get better matchups. So.
Oh, a lot better matchups.
Yeah. All right. Andrew.
Yeah.
Little sports talk there is a good little opening there. Andrew, what have you been up to, man?
Well, in the long absence, I have been playing Destiny 2, which is good. It has not hooked me like Destiny 1 did, but that's because it's basically Destiny 1.
So have they changed nothing? I'm sure they changed something.
They've changed plenty. Yeah, I'm being overly simplistic about it. No, not facetious, but overly simplistic about it. I don't think they changed enough. I don't think it's certainly a sequel in that there's a whole new story, and the story is pretty interesting, and there's enough new stuff to say, yeah, this is Destiny 2 and not like Destiny 1.75 or something like that. But
is it a whole new world?
Yeah, so you're not rehashing any old areas. Everything's new. There's enough new there that it's not an expansion. It truly is a sequel.
Well, then don't you dare close your eyes.
Oh, here he goes.
Okay. So anyway, I liked it. The story, like I said, was good. I did the raid last weekend for the first and maybe only time, and it was fine. It's probably the third best raid they've done, in my opinion. Maybe fourth best. I said third initially, but I'm getting further away from it.
How many raids were in the first game?
So you had the Vault of Glass, which is the best FPS level, period, of any game ever, in my opinion. Then Wrath of the Machine was from Rise of Iron. You had Crota's End from the Dark Below, and you had it's called the Taken King, but I can't remember if that was King's Fall was the name of the raid in the Taken King. So you had those four. You had Prison of Elders, but it was not a raid. So those four, Vault of Glass, like I said, is the best. My second favorite was Wrath of the Machine. King's Fall, I kind of go back and forth on. I liked parts of it, other parts I didn't. So King's Fall and the new one, which is called Leviathan, I go back and forth on. There's some cool stuff in both of them. But anyway, did that last weekend and enjoyed it. But as is the case with all Destiny content, what makes Destiny content great is not necessarily the content itself, but the people you play it with. So that is a trend that continues. That's not necessarily a bad thing because they still created the environment and the ability to be able to do that with people that you enjoy doing that kind of stuff with. So it was still fun. But given my current life now versus where I was 3 years ago when 4 years ago, whenever it was, when Destiny 1 came out, I don't see myself dropping another 1,000 hours into that game. So,
I mean, have they given you? I know the first. I never played Destiny. It sat in plastic when I bought it, and I sold it to someone. The big complaint was that they didn't seem like the world wasn't as fleshed out in the first one. That people complained that there wasn't really a great story behind it, and it was not as, I guess, fulfilling in a sense of gameplay. Have they changed a lot of that? With this one,
gameplay was always what was good about it. The shooting.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not gameplay. Yeah. I'm sorry. More when I say gameplay, I mean more like the content of the game per se.
So they did rehash a lot of content in Destiny 1. It was very common when new quote unquote new content came out that you were just going through a level they'd already designed backwards. Like
I didn't know that.
That's not funny. A joke. That's really what a lot of it was like. It's like, here's a new story where you go through this area. And what was good about it was when you went through it backwards, it looked different. Like it was
sure.
But then you get in a room, you're like, oh wait, I'm going through this I've been here before. But I mean,
you accidentally get turned around going the other way. Like, oh wait a minute.
This area is familiar. I made a joke and I forgot the story. So yeah, the Destiny 1 story, it was there, but it was hidden in It was
Text,
not
right?
in the game. It was in Grimoire, which you had to go to your computer or to your phone to actually be able to read, and it was long and kind of disjointed in a lot of ways. It actually ends up being a fairly interesting story, but getting to it was not great. So as a response, they were called Grimoire cards, is where you could find the story. As a response, they just took Grimoire cards out. Now they do tell a better story now, but it's like, well, you didn't have to cut out all the background stuff because the background stuff was interesting. So I don't know. The struggle to me with that game for Bungie, and Kotaku had an article about it. I didn't read it, but I did see the article or the title of the article, which means, I basically read it, right? Is that what that means? Okay. But I mean, really what their struggle is, the premise of the article was correct in that Bungie is struggling to please, in that they're trying to please both the casual and the hardcore audience at the same time. And they're struggling to find that middle ground where they can do that. So, I mean, right now it's probably more of a casual game than a hardcore game. And so the hardcore players are already kind of bored.
Right.
But at the same time, every time Bungie releases something new within the game, like a couple weeks ago, they had this faction rally. And so there are 3 factions within the game. You pledge to one, and then everyone gathers these currencies, and whichever faction has the most currency gathered gets to buy a gun from that vendor. And the other factions can't sell the gun. They have a gun, but they can't sell it. It's just kind of sucky on its own, but that's kind of the event. So within hours, it was a week-long event. Within hours of the event, the hardcore guys had been like, hey, here's the best way to get this much currency within an hour, and you can get literally everything and max out all the rewards you can get within 6 hours or whatever. I don't remember the times. So the point being, they struggle to please both the hardcore and casual audiences, but sometimes that's because the hardcore audience digs for ways to exploit the game to make it easier to blow through all the content, and then they're sitting there for the rest of the week twiddling their thumbs thinking, well, Bungie should have done a better job of this. It's like, well, or maybe you shouldn't have choosed it quite as hard. So it is a balance, and I think that's where the game is struggling right now. For me, it's just about time. I don't have 1,000 hours like I used to
right.
hammer through all that stuff, and it didn't hook me the same either. For whatever reason, I'm not sure what that reason is, but it just didn't quite get me the same. So anyway, I've been playing Destiny 2, and I've been playing, actually I was playing while we were talking there before we started, Everybody's Golf on PS4.
Man, I thought about getting that because it's Hot Shots Golf, and Hot Shots Golf is awesome.
Hot Shots Golf is awesome.
Yeah. If you don't think so, you're a loser.
Or you just,
that out there.
Well, you just
or you just don't like golf.
No, you just haven't played it yet.
That's true.
Hey,
but even if you don't like golf, you should like Hot Shots. I mean,
Hot Shots is fun. Yeah.
That's cyberbullying. We don't do that on here.
Shut up, Joe. How about that? You ever heard of that one before?
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Never listens to that.
No.
And believe it or not, I'm still playing Fire Emblem Heroes.
Of course you are.
Yep.
Nintendo got you hooks, man. It's like Nintendo's like these Fire Emblem hooks coming for you.
It is finally starting to stale, but they did a good job for a really long time.
That game's been out for what, almost
since February.
Oh, okay. Seems like it's been longer than that.
So, I mean, it's still, that's a long life for a mobile game.
I almost said it's been out for 2 years. That's how long it seems like.
Yeah, no,
you've been playing it forever.
Yeah, since February. But no, it's still good, but it's starting to stale now. But they did a good job of putting out content. Like every time it would start to get stale, they'd introduce a new mode, or they would change it up in some way. But I think we're getting to the end of that.
So do you think they'll bring like a second one, or they just keep updating that one, or
they'll keep updating that one? I mean, they're going to still work on it. It's staling for me personally. For one, the guy that I was most, because a lot of the appeal to me was unit building, because you can put skills and different stuff into the units and make them better than they are, I guess, out of the box. and the guy that I would theorycraft with quit the game because he was spending too much money on it, and which is a very smart reason to quit playing it. And but since I've lost my theory crafting partner, it's kind of like, well, I don't know if I'll. It's not
Continue.
as fun to theory craft on your own. So I don't know.
That's for some of these mobile games are worse than gambling.
Really?
When it comes to spending money.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there is kind of a form of gambling, I guess, to a certain extent.
Yeah, and that's been a hot topic this week, hasn't it, with loot boxes?
Loot boxes, man, everywhere.
No.
Let's not go
Loot boxes. No, that's a subject unto itself, I think, as far as the loot boxes go.
Well, I mean,
wait, quick Persona update, because Daniel got the platinum. He's been waving around like a flag of gamer. He's a whatever. I don't know where I'm going with that, but he's waving it as a flag in your face right now, Daniel. Andrew, where are you at right now?
Probably where I still was the last time we talked, because I haven't played it.
You haven't played any of it lately?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't even remember what dungeon I was on. I had just beaten one and was waiting on the deadline so that it would carry on to the next beat in the story. And it took too long, so I kind of got stale doing the social stuff. And
so are you
it's not
done
that
with
it's
it?
bad. No, not at all. Okay. But other stuff came out. Destiny 2 came out. I wanted to play Horizon before Destiny 2 came out, and then Mario comes out in less than 2 weeks, my friend. Less than 2 weeks. So
the greatest year in gaming history continues, and it's just October.
No, really.
No, really, I'm serious.
Me too. So I'll get back to it, but it's not at the top of my list right now.
Okay. Joe, what's up, man?
Nothing. Nah, just kidding. I got some new toys.
You got some new toys? What toys did you get?
Well, I got a new phone. Got a Note 8.
Nice. How you like it?
I love it. It's like I watched a certain sporting event yesterday. I'm not gonna say which one I watched because it's sour still in my mouth. But it's like having a small TV in your pocket because the picture is so good on it.
Nice. So what made you go from Apple to Android? What made you turn your back on us?
I was waiting to see the specs of the iPhone X, the Pixel 2, and then the Note 8. And the Note 8 is what's impressed me the most.
Nice.
The iPhone X has so many Samsung parts in it. It should be a Samsung phone. I mean, this phone has 6 gigabytes of RAM in it. That's more than some laptops. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous at the speed this phone runs at. So the first night I got it, I downloaded Facebook, and on an iPhone, you can just kind of scroll up.
Yeah.
And it goes pretty slow. You can read it. On this one, I scrolled up, and it was just like.
It looked like the wheel on
like a slot machine.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, okay, I gotta go all the way back up to the top because I have no idea where I was.
And of course, Facebook registers all those things that you just missed as red, and then they disappear, and you can't see them anymore. Yeah,
I can't see them anymore. So, but yeah, I like it. Screen, I didn't know if I wanted a phablet or not, as they call them. Mm-hmm. But it's not really that awkward. It's not as wide as they once were. They really slendered it down, and I think the curved screen helps.
Oh, it's got a curved screen.
Yeah, they the on the edges.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The infinity screen. They slimmed it down. It's a little longer than it normally is, but it's great. It feels good in my pocket.
Nice. So let's start a flame war. Sell me, because I'm considering dropping iPhone as well. Sell me on choosing Android, because I asked this question to a couple of friends a couple weeks ago, and they didn't really have a good argument. So convince me as an iPhone user to come to Android, because I'm considering it, but I want to know why I should do it.
I mean, if you're anything like I am, I like to customize a lot of stuff. I like to be in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing against iPhone. I loved my iPhones.
I'm not asking you to denigrate the iPhone necessarily.
But I just like to be able to, one, customize everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to do something on my phone, I can do it. I don't have to jailbreak it or write some other thing to do it. But, I mean, overall, I'm still getting used to the Android operating system because this is my first Android phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as hard as I thought it once was, just because I've always heard people say that the iPhones are easier or user friendly. I found this to be a lot more user friendly. I like it.
Have they taken out a lot of menu digging?
Yes.
Okay. That was, I mean, I've had a Samsung way back as like an S3 or S4, and then with the iPhone. And then one thing that bugged me about the Samsung or the Android stuff was I was constantly in some kind of digging for something. Like I was like, well, this should be right here on the front page, and it's not there. And I don't know. That was my only real issue. Other than that, I liked it, but I just felt like I was always digging for something.
And what else was I going to say? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't if I was gonna go to Android. I always said it'd be a Samsung phone. I lied. This is my second Android device. I had an HTC Incredible 2, which was just really horrible, and it left me with a bad taste in my mouth. And it wasn't because of the Android system. It was mostly because it was an HTC phone, and it was garbage. And that's one reason why I didn't go with the Pixel, is because the smaller Pixel was made by HTC, and then the larger one's made by LG, which LG makes all right phones. But the Note 8, I mean, for speed, for power, it's literally like having a laptop in your pocket.
That's pretty cool.
So
that's a good tagline. Samsung should put that on a commercial.
That's a.
I mean,
that's selling me. I'm looking at it now.
6 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, it loads up super quick.
Just for reference, my MacBook only has 8, so that is a lot of RAM on a phone. Yeah. So
same.
It's not too far behind mine.
And it's an OLED screen, so
there you go. Too. That's nice too.
4K resolution capable, if I'm not mistaken.
So I'm like you guys. My only experience with an Android was a Motorola Droid X. So I haven't really used an Android. That's what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. I've enjoyed it so far. So, and then my other toys, I got some Polk RTI 9s this week, or I guess it was last week.
Speakers.
Oh my God, dude, they're so awesome. So awesome.
So if you don't know, me and Joe work for a consumer electronic company, and we sell stuff. We get to listen to a lot of cool stuff. And Polk has these A9s, and they're basically, 5 speakers, Joe, in each tower? Is it 5 or 6?
They're 3 woofers, 2 mids, and
1 tweeter.
And a tweeter, yep.
Yeah. So they're these massive floor standing speakers, and they come up. And Joe's a pretty big kid. Joe, how tall are you now?
6'3".
6'3". They come up to about his chest. They're some pretty massive speakers, and they sound great. And so all those speakers give you great separation, and just you can hear everything, Joe. They're awesome.
Yeah. Mom has been out of town, and she came home, and first thing I did was you gotta come in the basement and see these speakers. And we watched the first episode of Stranger Things, the first season, just to kind of see. And man, so much was missed just on my regular little speakers.
Yeah.
Same thing. The first night that I hooked them up, me and my buddy watched the hallway fight scene, or the stairwell fight scene in season 2 of Daredevil. Was incredible because every punch that was thrown, if it was on the left side, it came out of the left speaker. If it was on the right side, it came out of the right speaker. You could hear every bat hit. Like if it hit a wall, I know before you could hear it, but I mean it was very, very crisp in the speakers.
That's
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to. I've got them just hooked up regularly. I'm gonna buy them so I can get more power. I'll get about 100 watts out of the mid and highs and 100 watts out of the lows when I bi-amp.
Joe, explain bi-amping, because a lot of people don't know what that is.
Bi-amping is when if you have like a 5.1 surround sound or a 7.1 surround sound, the 7.1 is usually either the front highs or the rear speakers are a bi-ampable channel. So when you have speakers like those that are bigger, you have two sets of terminals, and they're usually bridged together by a little piece of the metal or gold or gold-plated metal, probably, that connects the two sets of terminals. And you take that metal out and you put your front highs on a channel, and then you put your regular fronts on the channel, and by bi-amping them, you give them more power. You have two separate channels going into one speaker, so you get more power coming out of the highs and mids and none of the lows.
And those suckers need it.
Huh.
Yes.
I still don't know what he's talking about.
basically, you're combining four channels into two. Is basically what you're doing. So
those speakers, I think they can be power hungry. I think it's recommended, or the top power can be about 500 watts. I think to them.
Watts, yeah.
I've read online where people put 1,500 watts pro audio gear on them, and they work just fine. So they're very good speakers. I can't wait to start playing some video games on them. I plan on probably getting the one I can't wait to get is probably WWE 2K18. Just to hear the crowd and stuff on those. Been wanting to play some NCAA football 14 on them. I haven't got a chance yet, but I'm going to play that very soon. So I thought Dad was going to call the cops on us the other night because we had an episode of it.
Call the cops on the whole household.
Yep.
All out here. Honestly.
But man, it's just coming out of a single channel and having them bridged like that is just, they sound amazing. I can't wait to hook them up. But,
cool, man. Cool. I'm glad they worked out for you. Me, man, I haven't been doing too much. Played a little bit of Zero Dawn, or Horizon, I should say. I call it Zero Dawn. Everybody else calls it Horizon. I'm getting there. You know,
That's right.
I know. People say Zero Dawn, I'll say Horizon. It just seems like I get more perplexed looks when I say Zero Dawn versus when I say Horizon.
Fair.
Yeah. So I got kind of like with Zelda, where I got in this process, like I'm just going to finish it, and then I just kind of was like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to do what I want to do. You know, so I've hit that spot in Horizon where I'm just like, I'm just going to go over here and find this metal flower, and I'm just going to go over here and clear out this zone, and just so Shauna, which the story has really kind of got her. She said, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I'm just kind of hunting dinosaurs right now," type of thing. She's like, "Oh, okay, you still doing that?" So she's kind of really into the story and wants me to kind of keep going. But right now, I'm just kind of poking around, kind of get some stuff, leveling up, and doing all that cool stuff. That game is so good, man, and just the combat and just everything about that game. We've gushed about it, and really, it's the combat that kind of sets it aside. Like, I love Zelda, and I think Zelda's awesome, and I think it's a game that will change all the rules and all that stuff. You'll look back 20 years from now and be like, what game changed everything? And it's going to be Breath of the Wild, because everything it allows you to do and how you can do it. You can do it pretty much any way you want it to. We've talked about that. The combat in this game is so good. Like, it's so fun just to take down these monster dinosaurs. And if you're far away doing it, you still feel like I took down one of those T-Rex looking ones the other day, and it was awesome. It's so awesome to take those things down. And like everything,
It's called the Thunderjaw.
Thunderjaw.
Yeah.
And the first time you see him,
Jawbreaker.
and the first time you see it, you're like, holy crap, I could never take that down. Then all of a sudden you just kind of, and you can always start far away. Like, you're like, oh man, but at some point they get to you. Like, he started climbing the mountain or something. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know he could do that. And like, so you're jumping around and kind of get the other way and get kicked, and tail slapping you across the level. It's just really cool, and it's just I do find myself using the save points. You can jump to them. I find doing that. I didn't do that as much, but I do that now because every battle, like, it takes a lot, like. Because there's just not a one-on-one. You've got like 4 or 5 of these groups, and it can get a little bit tiresome if you're just trying to get somewhere, and you're like, man, how am I going to get around these things? I don't really want to fight them. I kind of get around. So I've been using the save points to hop a little bit. Just for reference, it's a lot like Red Dead Redemption, where you have the fire pits that you kind of save at and you kind of jump. They've kind of took that and integrated into the game. The world just is awesome. It keeps opening up and opening up. But when I'm not playing that, I'm playing some Puyo Puyo Tetris.
So wait,
yeah.
So are you going for the platinum in that, or you don't care?
I want to get as much trophies as I can. The platinum, because I'm not a guy that usually tries to beat a game over. So usually most platinums are, beat it on New Game Plus or whatever on hard mode.
This one is not that. You can do it
it's not
playthrough. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll probably go for it then.
So anyway, there's an area, since you fought a Thunderjaw now. Have you done I forget the dungeons? What are the dungeons called?
The cauldrons. I've done 2 cauldrons.
You've done, so there's a cauldron with a Thunderjaw in it. Spoiler alert.
Oh, geez.
But there's this valley that you'll have to find if you're going. I think you have to. You might not have to find it, but it's best to find it. There's this valley that has 2 Thunderjaws in it. Mm. That's just the best. Not because you fight them both, but because you take one over and then let them fight each other. Oh, it's awesome.
I can't wait for that.
It's
That's
fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did actually see, you talked about, I think it was this game. You talked about that you didn't take one over, but you just kind of got 2 things fighting. What was that?
It
Zelda?
probably was Thunderjaws. I tried to do that with Zelda and it wouldn't work. So
I actually got 2 dinosaurs to fight each other, but I didn't take one over. Maybe it was just they started kind of poking at each other, and so I walked by and I was like, "What are they doing?"
I think some of them will fight each other if they're like there's a certain, I can't remember what, I don't remember, my wires are crossing.
I'm guessing it's like a predator prey thing. I'm guessing kind of thing, because I'm sure not all of them fight each other. But man, that game is just so good. It's just. In the mystery they kind of build around, everything that I felt like was a little bit weak in Zelda, even though Zelda's a fantastic game. Combat's a little bit weak for me, even though it did get fun as you kind of went along. And the story, obviously, I think a lot of people have complained about the story, but it's just so strong. And I can just imagine the next one that is probably going to allow you to climb mountains and stuff. Because that is a frustration on this one. It's a lot like Uncharted, where you're trying to figure out, well, where do I climb these things? Like, what can I climb? What color does it have to be? Like, what?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. Go ahead, Joe.
Kind of like the Assassin's Creed too.
Yeah, we just kind of.
But in Assassin's Creed, they're at least more obvious. They're not very obvious.
True.
On Horizon.
Not very obvious. Yeah, there was a part where I did a. What did I do? I did a side mission, and it was the one spoiler. This ain't really a spoiler. You do a side mission for this guy where he says he's got this awesome spear, and if you get it, he'll split it with you or whatever. It ends up being an ambush because he wants your awesome spear. And so you have a choice: either kill the people or just run away and get away from. I killed him because the guy made me mad, so I just shot him.
Evil.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, evil. I took him out, man. They ambushed me first, and then but there was a part where you had to climb to get to this box, and so luckily at this point in the game, you're kind of tuned to be like, okay, what rock looks weird? Like, what looks just out of place? It goes back to the old school days where, like, if you're in a Nintendo game, you look for that pixel that kind of looks a little bit different. You're like, oh, I need to go over there. Well, it's kind of the same concept. And that's one of the few things in this game that I feel like they probably should have worked on. But, yeah, if I don't have to beat the game on hard, I'll probably try to platinum it. So
you do not have to beat it on hard, for sure.
Awesome. So I may get my first platinum with this game because this game is really fun.
Last.
I will tell you what game that I plan on getting. I got a birthday coming up soon. Steam cards are good presents. Just saying. But I do want to play
because I'm not buying my birthday present.
I do want to. I do want to play Hellblade with these speakers because there's a lot of from the reviews I've read. There's a lot of whispers and stuff. And of course I'm gonna hook up some surround speakers as well. And I just want to kind of get immersed into that. Like,
I heard
didn't
a lot
want
of
to
good
play
things
it.
about that game. It's very different.
Yeah, like I didn't want to play it with playing with headphones or anything like that because they said that you'll miss some of the because they took a lot of time with the sound, just not the whole video aspect of it, but the sound and everything. So I want to get the whole thing.
And then other than Horizon, I actually got back into Puyo Puyo Tetris. It's fun. The Puyo stuff I just don't get. Like I get it. Like I get what you try to do, but sometimes I just stack it and just hoping I hit the right one so I can get a cascade. Like it's just because I watched the guy I put on Twitter and actually got some comments from strangers about Puyo Puyo. Who know? I said I put 25 hours in the Puyo Puyo Tetris and I cannot master the chaos that is the Puyo Puyo. It's just it's a fun game. My mind doesn't think quick enough. So a lot of times I just start stacking, and then if I see something, I'll try to go for it and whatnot. I think I'm almost to the end of the story mode, which is this goofy, very anime kind of, and it's very self-aware. Like it's very self-aware of it, which makes it kind of funny. But it's the dialogue is really funny in it. But I'm to the part where they're actually mixing the Tetris and the Puyo into one thing. So you'll switch it. You'll start out with Puyo, and then you'll start having Tetraminos come down, and they can squash the Puyo, and then the Puyo go on top of the Tetraminos, which means that, if you squash them, they drop down, and sometimes you'll get a cascade where it just hits the right spot and just starts going down. So it's fun. I mean, it's just a simple, well, not simple, but it's a very challenging kind of game. I'm just kind of 1-star and everything. I'm going to go back and try to get 3 stars on everything. But I kind of just wanted to finish it. But it's fun. I can see why everybody likes Puyo Puyo, because if you really sat there and try and kind of tried to master it, it's a very challenging game to master. So it's fun. So it's pretty cool. Been playing it on the Switch. I haven't played it on a TV. I've just been playing it on the handheld mode because it's awesome. So I can't remember the last time I actually docked my Switch to play it on the TV just to charge it. Now when Mario comes out, that'll change because I would like to play Mario.
Oh yeah, you want the full sound and everything experience for that one as much as possible. Speaking of the Switch, I did pick up Golf Story. Speaking of
how is that, man? I'm definitely gonna pick that up.
I've played the first area, which isn't very much. So I really can't say a whole lot, I guess, but it's a golf sim RPG. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, and I'm not really sure why it would, then it's definitely for you. If you just like RPGs, it's probably also for you. I haven't played a ton of it, so
you're talking to people who still play Tiger Woods 2003.
I am.
It's like Tiger Woods and Final Fantasy put together.
I am playing. Who does that? You do?
I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, 03, right? Is that the one? Is that
yeah, 03.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rock on, guys.
No, that was exactly what brought that to my attention. Was like, it's a golf game and it's an RPG, and I was like, that's interesting. You don't see that very often, if at all. So it looks cool. I'm definitely gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna pick up. I think I'm gonna try Stardew Valley at some point.
Yeah,
I've heard
that.
too many great things about it to think that I wouldn't like it. So yeah, that game looks pretty rad, and I've been waiting for it to come to the Switch. I was really disappointed they do a Vita version, but now that the Switch is basically my new Vita, minus all the PlayStation classics that's on it, it's basically my indie machine now that the Vita once was. So, but all right, guys, what's cool? Definitely pretty excited as far as getting it, playing games and getting new speakers and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. We've got an interesting topic, and I wish I could take credit for this, but I can't really. I think we're going to work it where it's kind of an universal idea. But I was listening to the Kind of Funny Gamers Cast. I'm sorry, Kind of Funny Games Cast. I'm sorry. They had a guy on there. He's become a pretty popular YouTuber. He's called the Completionist, and his name's Gerard. And basically, he completes these games 100%. Just doesn't beat them. He 100% games, and basically does YouTube videos about them. And he's a really kind of thorough reviewer, which is what I like. He said, there's bad games that I will admit that are bad, but there's good aspects of them, and there's good games where there's bad aspects of those good games. He said, not everything's all good, not everything's all bad. That are really cool. If you go, I think it's episode, I can't remember what number it is, but this past Monday they put it out. And he had a really – because he's one of the few people that like Star Fox Zero. Apparently that game is terrible. He makes a pretty compelling argument, and it's one of those arguments where if you just play the game like the developer wants you to play the game, that it's actually a pretty good game. But he said most gamers wants to play it the way they want to play it, and it doesn't work that way. And I thought it was a very interesting – I'm going to explain it, but because he explains it really well. But anyway, during that Gamers Cast, it had come up, they was talking about something else, and I think he's talking about Capcom. And how Capcom was once this, everything they put out was just printing money because Capcom had so many great, properties, and then, bringing arcade games into home console market and stuff like that. And I think they was talking about Street Fighter V, and then kind of got off on Capcom and the new Marvel vs. Capcom game as well. And they brought up a thing where, what franchise what dormant franchise needs a reboot? Like a franchise that just hasn't been around and kind of lost as far as kind of where they're taking the series. And it could be a game that maybe's had some really bad, really bad kind of just trying to cash in on the name type of thing, or just a series that hasn't really been used at all for a long time. So I kind of extended that out to video games, movies, comics, etc. And then Andrew throws in a plot twist, which he's known to do. He said you have to kill a franchise that's currently active to reactivate the one you want to bring back. And then I said it actually has to be a franchise you like. So it has to be a pretty good it has to be a sacrifice. You just can't say like, oh, well, this game sucks, get it out of here. It has to be a game that you actually enjoy. And we also expanded it to movies and comics as well. So it's kind of the whole thing's open. So it's just not video games. But obviously this is a video game type question. So I thought it was a neat topic to discuss for a couple minutes because there are a lot of franchises that just have not – some of them haven't even entered into the last two generations of consoles to even be considered. So go, Joe, I'll let you start.
I was just going to ask you, was they talking about this because Capcom came out and said due to the Marvel vs. Capcom that they're going to revise some games?
Well, I think they was just talking about the last two big-time games to be released by Capcom was Street Fighter V, which at this point, and it's funny because it took them so long to get all – because just the way that they did this game, a lot of people was very unhappy. They didn't have a story mode in it. They didn't have all the characters in it. There were some really bad issues for the online stuff, and then, now they just announced obviously like a game of the year type of edition that has going to have all that stuff in it, much like Street Fighter's done for ages, releasing 5 iterations of the same game, basically. And then obviously the Capcom vs. Marvel stuff you're talking about, Joe, and just kind of the reviews that it has been getting, and it's not been very critically acclaimed. Like one of the things that was said on the podcast was that he said if you look at the original players or the original characters, they kind of look terrible compared to like if you saw the Black Panther one, which he's like that's maybe the best looking character model I've ever seen. And how good it looked. He said maybe that's why the game kind of sucks, or why the original game and the fighters kind of suck as far as what they look like, because they've concentrated all their stuff on the new stuff to make it look better. And so I think he was just talking about, or in general, the last 2 Capcom games have not been very well received.
All right, I didn't know if it was in context of them saying they're going to revive some games due to that, because I guess a lot of the newer generation of video game players has never really seen a Mega Man game, besides
right.
the re-releases of them on PlayStation 4 and stuff.
So, Joe, since you're on top, man, what dormant franchise do you want to bring back, and what franchise will you take away?
This is hard. I didn't like the second part of this question because it made me think even more.
That's what makes it good.
I made a list of them,
It's
Just
fun
see
to
which
just
ones I
dream
like.
about a franchise. It's much more fun though to make you struggle and agonize over what franchise to give up to get it back.
Yep.
I will say this: the franchise that would make me buy an Xbox again would be Fable.
Okay.
I would love to see, and I would love to see a Fable 4, and Peter heading it up. I would sacrifice. Oh man, this is hard. I'd sacrifice Madden for it.
Oh wow! So you take Madden completely off the table for Fable.
Yep.
Dang.
And you're a Madden guy.
Whew.
Like you get Madden
Big
almost
time.
every year.
Yep.
Man, taking it out. So you would love to have your Fable game if they brought it back. Like, what would you want it? Because you've played all three of them. And we've discussed what you hadn't liked with them and what you have liked with them. Is there a certain game that you would like in the series you would model the new one after and then kind of add some stuff to, or would it just be like, hey, let's just start all over and kind of just clean slate?
No, I really like the play mechanics of 3, but I would want a more open world,
Gotcha.
like it was supposed to be.
Yeah, because Fable wasn't. I mean, it wasn't linear by any stretch, but it wasn't necessarily as open world as they
promised.
as they said it was. Which is. I mean, let's be quite honest. Peter Molyneux has an issue with overpromising on things. That's why he's not making games anymore.
Well,
technically, but
I think time got to that one though. I think Microsoft wanted it because Light and Dark was really good. But I think
that wasn't a launch title. That was like That was like the first year or two, right, of the Xbox.
Yeah, that was supposed to. I think it was technically supposed to be a release. I don't know if it was supposed to be a release game or not, but it was supposed to come out within a couple months. But so it was more of a time thing. I think Microsoft was pushing to get it out.
So why take Madden off the table? Because at this point, Madden's kind of the only football game. So you're taking the only football game on the market off the table for you. So what makes Fable so important that you would take something like that off the table?
I mean, I think with Madden, you can only do so much with them. And at this point, and now, I think that I think all you're buying them for is the updated roster. That's all you're buying them for. You don't need to come up with a new disc every year. Just make us pay $30 for the updated roster.
Okay.
So,
and maybe every 2 years you release a new game because there are some new mechanics that they introduce, right, that actually work.
Well, it's always
sometimes they're throwing things in there just to like try, right? Just to.
I mean, you can always update it. I mean, they do it all the time in PC games.
You could, but they can make $60 every year if they don't.
That's true.
The way you're suggesting.
I mean, there's always AI tweaks. I think that's where we really see the jump in Madden was how the defenders react. How does your line? I mean, good Lord. I mean, how much did we jump up and cheer when a guard would actually go block a linebacker and then move and then go block somebody else, instead of just stopping in front of you. I mean, that was a huge thing for us. I remember when they did that in NCAA football, and you're like, holy crap, he actually blocked somebody else besides the guy in front of him. But I think it's always, the tweaking of the AI. Sometimes it's something big like the catch stuff or how the DBs react or, stuff like that, which was always a problem in past kind of iterations. But
here's the thing. As long as EA don't take the online servers down for NCAA football 2014, I'm fine with football being gone.
Sure. I thought for sure you'd pick NCAA football.
I don't know. I'm thinking about picking it.
It was top of the list. I have a list.
It's crossed my mind. It was one of the ones that was very seriously considered. Andrew, what about you, man?
Okay, so my answer, college football is a good one, but the one that I would probably go with so I would bring back Knights of the Old Republic. The trick with that, of course, is that the Old Republic is a current MMO that still gets updates and all that junk. But I don't have a PC that can run that, and I'm not going to play an MMO because I don't have that kind of time, as we covered earlier. So what I would like is I shouldn't say proper, because I know, or from what I understand, Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, was Knights of the Old Republic 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. So I would bring back Knights of the Old Republic, and as penance for that, really want to say I'd give up Destiny, but I kind of talked earlier like I don't like it that much. So what I will give up instead is gosh, I don't know.
Tough decisions.
It's tough. I guess I would give up Mario Kart to get a new Knights of the Old Republic. Like that, and I you know, there are franchises I would be more willing to give up, obviously, but I think that's the highest price I would be willing to pay. So let's put it that way. I guess I would be willing to give up Mario Kart to get Knights of the Old Republic.
That was actually going to be the one that I gave up for mine too.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it was, no joke. I was thinking about what would I give up that would be equal to me, and I was like, oh crap, I want to give up Mario Kart. So Mario Kart's off the table for you. Like, so you want, so is this one of those things where you just want, like, obviously a story-driven game? But what happens if this happens and the story sucks and you give up Mario Kart?
Well, I mean, so the part of giving up Mario Kart is that it's conditional on Knights of the Old Republic being good.
Sure. Okay. Gotcha. So, man, that's a big one for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's huge. Like that would.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the one game I'm good at.
He's pretty good at Mario Kart. I'll give him some.
True. I am.
I'll feed it to you on that one.
That is true.
For me, man, let's see. Well, Mario Kart would be the one I would give up. I love, especially the last Mario Kart 8 was maybe obviously the best Mario Kart.
It's already off the table. We have to come up with a new one.
I have to come up with a new one. Oh man, because I didn't really think of another one to give up.
Should have answered your question first, then.
Probably should.
On your own.
Here, okay. So I've got another one. Obviously, the game that I would choose that needs to be brought back in some kind of way would be the Mega Man Legends series, or just Mega Man. No, that would be great. And this should not come any surprise to anyone that knows me or has listened to this podcast. I would love to have a new Mega Man Legends. I love that game. I love the world that they crafted. I love that they took Mega Man out of this kind of beat these 8 robots, and that's great. I love the old school Mega Man. Me and Joe's talked about it 1,000 times. Probably my favorite franchise of all time. I just love Mega Man. I got so many great memories, and those games still hold up today. They're harder to craft, but they still hold up today. And get them out of that kind of 8 robots, 8 robot masters type of thing, and put him in a world and put him in and kind of bring the rest of those characters to life. Like Roll had a much bigger role in it. Create new villains for him, the Bond fan, Tron Bond and all those guys as far as the characters. And I just felt like they just had such a world to play with, and it would be so awesome to do a Mega Man Legends kind of open world game where you did go and try to find ancient artifacts and face these big old robots, and you could put a helmet on Mega Man if you want, you take it off if you want. I mean, it was just such a cool world that they crafted that I actually ended up really cared about, and that's what worlds are about. We talk about Horizon. I care about the world in Horizon. Same with Mega Man Legends in a totally different way. So I would have to give something big for that, something that I would otherwise not give up for just about anything else. If I can't do Mario Kart, I'm going to go Red Dead Redemption. I love Red Dead. I'm so stoked for the second one. I was talking to one of my friends from work, and I said I don't play a lot of mature games anymore because they just don't interest me as much as they used to. But that's the one mature game that I'm so stoked for because it's a Western and it's Rockstar, and they just did such a great job with the first one. But I would give up I would give up Red Dead Redemption and whatever they're going to do with that in the future. Obviously, there's a second one coming out, so I'll give that up.
Third one.
Red
Dead Revolver.
Oh, I'm sorry, third one. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Redemption.
I could only let you get away with that once.
Okay.
I'm saving
so Red
you,
Dead
okay?
Redemption, I would give that up. So I would take Red Dead Redemption 2, even though I really want to play it off the table, and if they would give me a new Mega Man Legends.
So you're going to take off a once dormant Red Dead franchise for another dormant franchise.
You're breaking a lot of hearts, Aaron.
I am.
Yep.
I am. I'm taking. I'm not saying everybody else can't play it, but if Capcom was like, "Hey man, like we got Mega Man Legends, all you have to do is give a Red Dead Redemption 2," I'd be like, "I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to."
I'd like to see like a dark Mega Man game.
Well, did you guys ever see the footage of the first-person Mega Man game, which I would hate, by the way? I just would not like. But it was in the X universe, and it was a first-person shooter. They leaked some footage of some of unfinished stuff, and it was like the first stage or something. It looked cool, but it did have like a darker tone to it, which those X games kind of have a darker tone to them anyway, overall. But they're not as as I guess bright and colorful as the other ones were, but as far as storyline wise, but yeah, so they did. It looked.
What was the doctor's name? Dr. Light? Dr.
Light and Dr. Wily.
Yeah, like Dr. Wily killed Dr. Light. Mega Man's out for revenge, and he's not a boy anymore. He's a man. He's got this big scruffy Mega Man beard because he comes out of like retirement.
So is this like Mega Man? It's like Mega Man: The Last of Us, the last of the Mega Mans.
No, but did anybody else make like a list that they would like to see?
Oh, I think NCAA football is up there.
And
yeah, and I don't know what
football.
I don't know. Did we ever find out what that teaser was?
No, I don't think so. NCAA football was on my list. I got like 4 games or 5 games. Did y'all ever play the Stalker series?
No.
Nope.
It was like an open world, almost like a horror game. Like you had zombies and all this other stuff. It was awesome. Earthworm Jim was on there.
Oh man, yeah.
Spyro.
I'm not a big Spyro fan. I don't know people want Spyro back. I'm not a big Spyro fan.
I'd like to see Conker come back.
Which iteration? The good one or the
good Conker?
Okay, gotcha.
The bad for a day Conker is what I'd like to see come back. But those are the ones I don't know. Did they haven't released the new Jackson Daxter yet, have they?
Yeah, they were no, not Jackson Daxter. The last
they've done the collection, but they haven't released a new one. I wouldn't mind a new Jackson Daxter game.
You know
I
what?
would like Jackson Daxter.
You know what I want more than Knights of the Old Republic, now that you mention it.
Banjo-Kazooie.
And I can't think of what it was that you said that made me think of it, but Portal.
Portal.
Man, it's been a while since we had a new Portal game.
2011.
Half-Life.
Yes,
that's still coming, Joe. Come on now. Don't you know?
That's going to be Valve's break glass. Like if you're about to go bankrupt, break glass type of thing. So it may cause them to go bankrupt the rest of the way, but you never know. It may recover. No, mine would have been, and I thought real hard about it. NCAA football. Sony released that teaser. Nobody really knows what it means, and some people say, "Oh, it's just college football," and then there's some people say, "Oh, no, it's a college football game. It's just not talking about college football." So I don't know. I don't think they haven't touched on it yet. So unless Sony ponied up the money, be like, "We want NCAA football on the PlayStation," and that would be unbelievable if they did that. The other ones, Castlevania. We haven't had a really good Castlevania game in a long time. Every time I play Castlevania 4. Yeah, with the Netflix, the Netflix series, we may actually get a new Castlevania. And there is a new Mega Man coming, but it's going to be based on a cartoon that isn't really Mega Man. Really, I don't have high hopes for that, as far as that goes. But then there was one more, Dead Space. Dead Space it's been a while since Dead Space 3's been out, and I would love to revisit that series, maybe with a different character, or maybe with I did like the concept of 3 with different characters, kind of stuff like a branching storyline. I don't know how that game would work in like an open world feel because I think that the linear of that game works for that because of what they're trying to accomplish in the horror realm type of thing. So I think that works. And obviously the ship and trying to get to where you need to go, I think it gives I think if they did like an open world game with that, it would take away the Alien vibe of that as far as like being enclosed in this one place type of thing. So I would love to see them revisit that game.
Silent Hill.
Which well, yeah, PT. Go buy a PlayStation 4 PT load on.
Yeah, okay.
I have
what else?
one.
Do you have
I
one?
have PT. Yeah.
Those things are still going for like $350.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
Toe Jam and Earl would be another one I'd like to revive.
They are. They had a
really?
Kickstarter for it.
Really? I hadn't
Yeah,
seen
it's coming
that.
out. Yep.
God, I love that game.
So, Toe Jam and Earl's pretty sweet. I need to go back and play that.
What about Splinter Cell?
When was the last Splinter Cell?
GameCube?
No, they released one for the 360.
Oh, did they?
Positive, yeah. And it wasn't like it wasn't a Splinter Cell type game though. It was it basically was like an action movie.
Well, I always liked the Splinter Cell games.
I always liked the look of them, but I never played one. How about that?
It was a test of patience sometimes with those games. Yeah.
It was like, yeah. I had one on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. What about like an open world Matrix game?
I think this hardware we have now is much better suited for when they tried to do it on the PS2.
Yeah.
So I think they could actually pull off a pretty good Matrix game if they let somebody just make it.
Those games were fun anyway.
Enter the Matrix game, is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
That was a cool concept.
Yeah.
Yep. It was just too buggy. Yeah, it's too much.
I played it, but not on my own, so I don't know what the problems and stuff were.
There were a couple. I never played it, but from what I've watched on YouTube and read about it, is that there are a ton of game-breaking bugs. Like there's even one at the very, very last where if you open like a certain door, you can't get in the door to get to the final stages. Like if you open this door and the game's like, nope, you can't go anywhere else because you opened the wrong door. So, so it's just very, very buggy, and I think they tried to do a lot of cool stuff that the hardware just couldn't support. But yeah, great, good topic, guys. We kind of built, off the one I stole and kind of made it our own a little bit to be able to do. Do we have any parting words before we get out of here?
I guess I should give credit to my Destiny clan because they were the ones that actually, because we had this conversation a few weeks ago, probably whenever you stole the idea, whatever podcast you stole it from. And we had already added the stipulation you have to give up a franchise in order to get the other one back. So I guess I should give a little credit to my Destiny chat guys for that one.
There you go. Well, I just heard it. I thought, because they haven't done it yet, so obviously they don't care about us. But I was like, I'll steal that. I think that's a pretty good topic. Because I think we've talked about HD remakes, I think, of games. Like we'd like to see bring back in high definition. But I don't think we talked about dormant games that should God could kill Capcom, man. I think Disney just needs to buy Capcom. Like, they just need to be like, hey, can we buy Mega Man from you and Castlevania and, just make them for our systems? Because that's the last time. Well, I can't say it's the last time they were good because there's some good ones on PlayStation. But.
Contra.
I don't know if you want Disney buying game franchises or not anyway.
Disney?
Isn't that what you just said?
No, I said Nintendo.
Oh.
Sorry. I thought you said Disney too.
You said Disney.
No, I said Nintendo.
You meant
I'm
Nintendo.
sorry, but I
You
meant to
said
say
Disney.
Nintendo. Yeah. They made a joke. They was like, what would happen if Capcom just like knocked on Nintendo's door and be like, we're going to give you Mega Man. Go make us money, type of thing. Yeah, and this is another topic for another time. We won't discuss too much, but I think we're starting to look at game companies pay for exclusives, like third-party exclusives. Like if you'd have told me, Street Fighter V would only be on PlayStation, I'd have been like, wait, no, that can't. That just doesn't happen anymore. Nintendo got Bayonetta. So I mean, it's weird to.
There's talk that PUBG is going to end up being a full Microsoft exclusive. I don't know if that's going to be true or not.
Was.
It's a timed exclusive right now, but there's talk that it might end up being. That's my understanding anyway. What happened to Joe's microphone?
I have no clue.
Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me now? Those Xbox boys won't like that game anyway. They're too used to Call of Duty and sitting there waiting on people to spawn or sitting in a little pretty snapper tower. They ain't nothing like that game. They actually have to move.
Boy, Joe and Andrew bringing the fire today. Man, they are bringing the hammer down. Man. I'm just a nice host over here. Don't send me hate, man.
When it comes out for the Xbox, I see a bunch of YouTube players that will play on the little Xboxes. Be like, this game stinks because it makes me move and I get killed so much and I used to 50-1 and I'm gonna have like 1 and dead.
Oh wow, Joe's breaking out his baby voice for that one.
Yeah, that's what they are. That's what Xbox users are. A bunch of wine boxes, big babies.
But I do feel like we're starting to see more talk of more exclusives. That's another topic for another time. So I never thought we'd be close to that again.
Hey, have you guys thought of anything, speaking of exclusives, that Microsoft can actually do to beat PlayStation?
I think
get the life insurance, take its own suicide,
sell the brand to Amazon.
There you go. Yeah,
I don't think that would even help.
I think that's their only chance.
Well, I just think that
or Xbox's only chance, I should say.
This is what Microsoft did that I think at some point was a good thing because they were new and the stuff that they did online and stuff was great, and Halo was something that was awesome. But I think it's really hard to go up against two companies that have such a backlog of games that they can go with. Nintendo by itself.
They're beating Nintendo right now, but to me, well, go ahead and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Well, they're beating Nintendo because the Wii U was out a lot longer than it should have been. So I think if the Switch would have came out when everything else did, I think Nintendo would be kicking Microsoft's butt. I mean, I just think it would.
Wait, are they beating Nintendo? But are we counting Nintendo Classics sold?
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count, Joe. Look at you trying to get Nintendo patent I appreciate that though. No, I think they don't have the franchises to move consoles. I think Halo was their thing, and I think that their success coming from the Xbox pushed the 360, and the 360 was largely a third party thing most of the time. I just think that by the time PlayStation 4 came around, Sony had a pretty good backlog of games that you wanted to see on the PlayStation 4 versus the games that Xbox had that you didn't really care about on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So
video game players that stick with video game play PlayStations. People who just want to play Xbox and then grow up, or play video games and grow up, they play with Xbox.
I mean, the only people that I know that have Xboxes are ones that had and were loyal to 360.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody I know that was like, I just want a video game machine, chose Xbox over PlayStation. So to me, the answer to this question is more Microsoft should be more focused on not losing to Nintendo right now.
Sure.
For second place, then they should be trying to catch Sony, because I think that's where they are.
I think Microsoft's end game isn't to make a successful console. I think Microsoft's end game is trying to figure out how to bring the Xbox and the PC together. I think their whole
just make the Xbox an out of box.
Just
PC.
make the Xbox exactly. I think that they saw what Valve had with the Steam machine and the idea of that. And I think that Microsoft will be the one, because they already have their foot in the console market already, or almost both feet in the console market at this point. but you're seeing some of the stuff like they do with the Microsoft Store and some of the cross-play stuff they're starting to bring in. I think that their in-game is more on the PC side of it, trying to merge PC and console together versus keeping them separate.
That's what they're trying to do, I think. And I 100% agree. If they could get Steam on Xbox, that would be the thing. That would win it for them. But I don't see them doing that because that's lost revenue for every digital game they sell. And
well, I'm not talking about like taking Steam and putting it, but creating their own version.
Talking about that because just having an Xbox store like they have now isn't working. So it would have to be something that works on Windows that does PC gaming, and I think you would need Steam on there to make that viable, and that's not going to happen.
They are starting to do that with the Games for Windows storefront, from what I understand.
They're trying to do, but it's a half measure, and really all it does is tell me, oh, well, I should just get a gaming PC.
Yes.
That's true.
The only reason I've said this for a couple times this week, because a lot of the guys I work with are PC gamers, the one reason why I have a PlayStation 4 is it's fun to play, and the exclusives because they don't come out on PC.
Yeah.
So, but the only thing that the Xbox has been good for is giving me a good PC controller.
Finally, a good PC controller.
Well, that and Fable. Even though I have the first Fable on PC, the second and third one's not available on PC. But the Fable series was a good series.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's we're in a very cool place with video games right now, where it's if you'd ever told me I'd be playing a full-fledged Mario game on a portable device that's not a downgrade or not as good as a home console, I'd tell you that he's nuts. Basically,
an open world Mario game to be exact.
Yeah. On a console that I can hold in my hand and play.
Yep.
You can take the train to work. You don't take the train to work.
I don't take the train to work. No.
You just get your wife to drive you, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Or I drive her, one of the two.
His baby drives.
I did try to climb up on the roof and have try to play on the roof like they showed those people doing on that commercial. But
yeah, right. You're too scared of heights.
Yeah, that's it, man. Good topics, and I'm sure we'll revisit the last topic there as far as Microsoft and Sony and versus Nintendo and whatnot. But yeah, so Joe, you got anything to say before we leave?
Okay.
Go Cubs.
Yeah, go. Go Cubs.
Cubs and Astros. Cubs and Astros.
I still want Cubs and Yankees, man.
Looks like it's going to be the Dodgers, though.
Dodgers are whipping it. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in, or not tuning in, I guess, downloading or streaming or whatever you're doing. Thank you for tuning in to the Monsters Geek episode number 48, and we are out.